Good morning to you all.
Morning, Chairperson.
Mr. Soni.
Chairperson, Commissioners, today we have as the witness Mr. Timothy Williams, who will be led by his counsel, Ms. Ranto.
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Ranto.
Thank you, Commissioners. I do confirm that I'll be leading
Yes.
the witnesses' evidence.
Yes. Is General Williams online? General Williams.
I am.
Good morning.
Yes, I am, Commissioner. Good morning. Good morning,
Good morning.
Commissioners.
Are you going to give your evidence under oath or affirmation?
Under oath, please.
Yeah. Do you swear that the evidence you will give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? If so, raise your right hand and say, "So help me God."
So help me God.
Thank you, General. Ms. Ranto?
Thank you, Chairperson. Perhaps before we start, I just want to inform the Commissioners that the witness is not really in good health. So what we asked from him is that if he needs some short break, he will
Yes.
be alerted. But then again, if we could keep it as possible as keeping him until 1 o'clock, if it's possible. So he says he will do his best to stretch it. But I think if we can just do, we're going to be very short. The witness
Yes.
statement is very short, Commissioners. Thank you. Thank you, Commissioners. Good morning, General Williams.
Good morning, Advocate. Good morning.
Perhaps before we start, I just want to confirm if you have an affidavit deposed to by Timothy Charles Williams in front of you at the moment,
I do, yes.
and that is the affidavit dated 13 July 2026, correct?
Correct, yes.
Thank you. Commissioner, in paragraph 1 of your affidavit, you are informing the Commission that you are a retired member of the SAPS. Is that correct?
Correct, yes.
And you further inform the Commission that at the time of your retirement in 2009, you were holding the position of the Deputy National Commissioner of the SAPS, correct?
Correct.
Okay. If I may take you to paragraph 3 of your affidavit, you inform the Commission that this affidavit serves as a response to the Commission's letter dated 22 June 2026, wherein I was requested to assist with information in the following manner. Just want to confirm with you that you are informing the Commission that your affidavit was prompted by a letter from the Commission, not any notice, right?
That's correct.
Okay. Commissioners, if I may just read into the record in terms of what the letter sought from the witness, and that appears from paragraph 3.1, but for the purpose of context, I'll start with paragraph 3. This affidavit serves as a response to the Commission's letter dated 22nd June 2026, wherein I was requested to assist with information in the following manner. 3.1, by setting out my role, responsibilities, and authority as the Acting National Commissioner of SAPS during my tenure in as far as investigations of TRC cases are concerned, the manner in which I exercised oversight, direction, supervision, coordination, or support in relation to investigation concerning TRC cases, including reporting, briefing, decision-making, or resource allocation processes relevant to such investigations. Paragraph 3.3, my knowledge of involvement in or contribution to the management, prioritization, investigation, monitoring, or administration of TRC cases, including any steps taken in the execution of my responsibilities. Paragraph 3.4, any communications, instructions, representations, requests, consents, or interventions relating to TRC cases that came to my attention during my tenure, including any instances in which efforts were made or were alleged to have been made to influence, delay, limit, discourage, or stop the investigation of such matters. Paragraph 3.5, my knowledge of any interactions between the SAPS, the National Prosecuting Authority, the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development, members of the executive or any other persons or institutions concerning the investigations or prosecution of TRC cases. And 3.6, any additional information that may assist the Commission in understanding my role, responsibilities, knowledge, and involvement in matters relating to TRC cases during my tenure. So in essence, that is what the letter requested of the witness commissioners. Now, Commissioner General Williams, if I may then refer you to Annexure TCW to your affidavit. In
Well,
front of you.
maybe the general may have to confirm what you have read.
I was just about to confirm because it relates to the contents of the same annexure, Commissioner Khomi.
Okay.
You see annexure TCW 1 to your affidavit? Yes.
Correct, yes.
Do you confirm
the
that
letter.
is, yes, TCW 1, it appears on page 9 on the banner
Yes.
that is in front of you. Can you
Correct, yes.
confirm to the commission that that is the letter that you are referring to in paragraph 3 of your affidavit?
Yes, I confirm.
Can you also confirm the contents that I just read into the records
I
emanating from the
do.
same letter?
Correct, I do, yes.
Thank you. I suppose that covers you, Commissioner Khomi.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioners. In paragraph 5, you informed the Commission that given the time lapse since my retirement in the SAPS, I have no documents in my possession relating to the questions asked in the Commission's letter dated 22nd June 2026. However, reliance will be made on the documents that are already before the Commission. Do you confirm that is your statement?
Correct, yes. I do.
Now, Commissioners, if I may proceed just to outline or deal with the career history of the witness during his employment in the SAPS. If General, I'm going to take you to paragraph 7 of your affidavit. Can you tell the Commission about you joining the SAPS? When did you join the South African Police Service? And shortly before that, also
Yes.
informing the Commission about the position that you occupied. Please go ahead.
Yes. I joined the SAPS, so I was appointed in a post in May 1995, but I was being appointed having been in the Ministry of Safety and Security, as it was referred to then, as one of the interim advice team to the minister. So I was a member of the interim advice team, 1994 to 1995. And then in 1995, I assumed the position of I assumed the position of the head of inspectorate in the SAPS up to 97. Up to 1997. And then in 1997, with the component head of crime intelligence having I think we lost him in a car accident. I was then transferred to take over the position of head of crime intelligence from 97 up to 2000. So for 3 years, and then in 2000, I was appointed as a deputy national commissioner from then 2000. The year 2000 up to the time of my retirement in 2009.
Thank you. Thank you, General Williams. Maybe just to take you back to what you mentioned in paragraph 8 of your affidavit,
Yes.
where you informed the Commission that among the issues you dealt with as part of the interim advisory team to Minister Mufamadi was amalgamation
Yes.
of all police forces from the former TBVC states, self-governing territories, and the erstwhile SAPS. You confirmed that.
Yes, I do. I confirm that, yes.
Thank you, General Williams. We can then proceed to paragraph 11, just under the heading involvement in the TRC related matters.
Yes.
So that's paragraph 11 of your affidavit.
But my statement, yes.
I will read it out and you will confirm the contents. You inform the commission that, or as follows, my first encounter with TRC matters related. My apologies, commissioners, I think there's a typo here. My first encounter with matters related to the TRC while in the SAPS was during 2004 when the late Commissioner Slebi requested Lieutenant General Praise and I to go and collect some documents from the then NDPP's office, Advocate Bulelani Nguga. On arrival at the NPA's offices at Church Square in Pretoria, we found Advocate Piccoli with some officials from the NPA that I cannot remember who exactly they were, waiting for us outside the entrance of the said offices. You confirm that the contents of your statement, General Williams?
I can confirm, yes. I can confirm that, yes.
Okay. Perhaps if you can, you may elaborate on what you meant there, maybe just to briefly
Yes.
inform the
Yes.
Commission what happened on that day.
Oh, on this day, the National Commissioner was Silibe then, was having, in the morning we have these morning briefings. Himself and the two deputies who are responsible for operational matters with myself and Praise. And then he said, there was a discussion between himself and the NDPP. I assume the discussion happened the previous day. And then there was an agreement that there are certain documents or dockets to be handed to the SAPS. He then requested us to please approach the office of the NDPP and to collect such documents. There was no discussion about what they involved at the time. It was just documents to be picked up and so on. And our office is not being very far from there. We walked across to the NDPP's office in Church Square, and we found them. We met Piccoli and a number of other people from the NDPP's office just outside the building on the square, and they had a big box, a carton box full of documents, an open carton box. And then there was discussion about, I don't know, I think some people were saying, should they really be handed over and whatnot? I was not prepared to enter that discussion because the discussion had happened, in my understanding, between the National Commissioner and Advocate Nguga. And so I requested that Advocate Nguga be present, and that I would like to see him. He then came down to where we were, and when he arrived, he just said, no, I've had a discussion with Silibe. These documents must go back to the police. I've got no interest in holding on to these documents. And then myself and Praise got somebody from Detective Services to come and pick up the documents. But it was one big carton box. I didn't go through what was the contents. It was an open box, and in there, in the carton box, and in there I saw lots of publications of the ANC, all publications, that publications of the ANC, and I don't know what else was there. I didn't really go through it, and I didn't have any interest because I had no prior knowledge of what was supposed to happen and what they were about. And we just got somebody from Detective Services because in our briefing, my understanding was that there's going to be dockets as well. So we then called on General De Beer, who was Divisional Commissioner, Detective Services, to arrange for the documents to be picked up from there. The carton was big, and there's no way we could have moved that carton, and we didn't have an interest to hold on to any of the contents. And De Beer and some of his members arrived, and they took care of the box. That's the last time I saw it. the contents of that carton box, and I've never ever seen it again after that day. And I've never ever been engaged in any discussions about in relation to the carton box and the documents in there ever until now that I'm reflecting and recollecting, because it's very long ago. I'm recollecting that one incident, yes.
Thank you, General. If you may just elaborate further on what you said, there were two deputies, yourself
Yes.
and the other
And General
deputy.
Praise,
Thank you very much. And
Vice
then,
General Praise, yes.
and you also mentioned the presence of Advocate Piccoli at that time.
Piccoli, yes.
Perhaps if you
Piccoli
can
and-
just, yes, Advocate
I think
Piccoli.
Ackerman was there too. Piccoli and Ackerman, I think,
Okay, but then
the
the
only
question that I
people I
want to ask.
recognized.
Okay, so,
Yes.
sorry, General, yes. I'm trying to get your attention to specifically Advocate Piccoli. Now, his
Yes.
presence, in what capacity was he at that time? Or do you remember what position was he occupying at the time? When
No, I
he
couldn't
met-
understand his presence there because he was the Director General of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. He was not from the NDPP, so I couldn't understand why he was there.
Thank you, General. That you described as your first encounter with TRC-related matters. Now, if
Correct.
we may then proceed to paragraph 15 of your affidavit, where you now inform the Commission of your second and last encounter with the TRC-related matters. Now, I'll read out the paragraph which you will then confirm its content. Paragraph 15 of your affidavit reads as follows. My second and last encounter with TRC-related matters was shortly after my appointment as the Acting National Commissioner in 2008. This was after Assistant Commissioner Jacobs, which rank later became Major General Jacobs, from Legal Services approached me about the invitation received from the then acting NDPP's office, Advocate Mshe, regarding the meeting of the Interdepartmental Task Team planned to take place on 13th March 2008. You confirm the contents of paragraph 15.
I can confirm that.
Then you proceed to paragraph 16 by stating that due to my lack of prior involvement in the issues related to the TRC and or ITT at the time, I requested Major General Jacobs to prepare an information note explaining what the issues were about. It was then that I became aware of correspondence exchange between Commissioner Silebi and Advocate Piccoli during February 2007 about a misunderstanding that existed between them on the exact role of the ITT vis-a-vis the Forum of Director Generals. You confirm the contents of paragraph 16?
I can confirm that, yes.
Now, if I may, commissioners, with the agreement with the Galata Group, Mr. Vani was going to put a letter that preceded the one that is annexed to the document that General Williams annexed to his affidavit as TCW2. So it's actually a letter that preceded the Piccoli letter of the 6th of February 2006. So I just wanted the commissioners just to have it nearby. The letter appears on page 172 of the Galata bundle.
Yes, we've got it.
Thank you, commissioners. Now, in paragraph 17, you state it as follows. What became significant about the letter from Advocate Piccoli addressed to Commissioner Silebi on 6 February 2007 was the undertaking he made to seek clarity from the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development on the issues raised by Commissioner Silebi during February 2007. Commissioners, we later became aware that actually it's a mistake. It ought to be February 2006, not 2007. 2000. It has to be aligned to the Piccoli letter. No, it is 2007. My apologies, Commissioner.
2007, I thought so, yes.
You confirm the contents of paragraph 70.
I do, I can confirm.
And then paragraph 18, you stated that this resulted in the letter I addressed to Advocate Mshe, wherein I expressed my reluctance towards the SAPS attendance to the ITT meeting planned for March 2008, based on the impasse that appeared to remain unresolved between the two institutions. Then you annexed copies of your response to Advocate Mshe's letter as annexure TCW2 to your affidavit. Can you go to TCW2?
I'm there.
And then the same TCW2, there is a letter accompanying the same annexure that appears on paragraph 13. You see, I'm sorry, on page 13 of the same bundle. Just after TC, it's part of TCW2. See, page 13. 13.
Yes, I'm there.
Okay. Now, in paragraph 18, you inform the commission that that is the letter that you sent to Advocate Mshe. You confirmed that.
I confirm that, yes.
And then, and next to the very same letter, as you informed the commissioner, was that letter that appears on page 13, the one that Advocate Piccoli wrote to Commissioner Silevi, correct?
I confirm that, yes.
Thank you, General. Now, there is a letter that should be in front of you by National Commissioner Silevi, addressed to Advocate Piccoli. The subject is outstanding TRC cases, and then the letter is dated 6 February 2007. Do you have a copy of that letter in front of you?
Can you please just hold? Yes, I do.
Okay. Perhaps if you may just confirm that you have the right document in front of you. My reference
I
up
do.
there, okay, if you can just inform the commission who's the person mentioned next to the words "my reference" in the same letter?
Yes, sir. It's National Commissioner Silive, National Commissioner Silive.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. And then it's addressed to who? Dear Advocate Piccoli.
To Advocate Piccoli, yes.
Thank you very much. Now, taking you back to paragraph 16 of your affidavit, where you stated that I requested Major General Jacobs to prepare an information note explaining what the issues were about. It was then that I became aware of correspondence exchange between Commissioner Silevi and Advocate Piccoli during February 2007. Now, for the confirmation of the commission, is this the letter that you were referring to, the one that was exchanged between Commissioner Silevi and Advocate Piccoli?
Yes, I can confirm it is.
Thank you, General. Now, if we then go to paragraph 18 of your letter, of your affidavit, this resulted in the letter addressed to Advocate Mshe, wherein I expressed my reluctance towards the SAPS attendance to the ITT meeting planned for March 2008, based on the impasse that appeared to remain unresolved between the two institutions. Now, after having confirmed the contents of that which you annexed to your affidavit, that's now the letter that you addressed to to Advocate Mshe.
Yes.
Can you just tell the commission in terms of that letter, what is it that you were communicating to Advocate Mche?
Okay, so what basically I was communicating to him is that there, in my briefing, in my being briefed by then Major General Jacobs, who was a member of the ITT, the ITT operated without any guidance because there was no a matter of the role of they were operating, the ITT was appointed by the Committee of Directors General, on which Silibe and Bikoli and others served. And the ITT was like a subcommittee, a working team under the guidance of those Directors General. Now, the Directors General themselves had not met for, as you can see, before February 2007, and this was now in 2008. They had not met for more than a year. And there had been an impasse at the time. There was or lack of understanding or common understanding between the NDPP at that time, because by then Bikoli was at the NDPP, and the National Commissioner about their role as a committee. And I was basically bringing to his attention that it serves no purpose for the ITT to meet without guidance of the DGs who had not been meeting. And that also, if the role is not defined of the Directors General, then there's no guidance for the ITT serving on their behalf. So basically, that's what I was. That letter was raising the issue of there being no meeting. 1, 2, that there's no direction, no guidance.
And then taking you back to paragraph 17, where you stated before the commission that what became significant about the letter from Advocate Bikoli addressed to Commissioner Silebi on 6 February 2007 was the undertaking he made to seek clarity from the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Development on the issues raised by Commissioner Silebi. You confirm that?
I can confirm that, yes.
So would I be correct to say that your understanding, you had the same understanding as Commissioner Silebi that Advocate Bikoli had to revert regarding the interaction with the minister in that regard?
I can confirm that, yes. That's how I understood, yes.
And then we can proceed perhaps to paragraph 19 of your affidavit, wherein you stated as follows: my view as expressed in the letter being referred to above was informed by the fact that since the matter had been escalated to the highest authority by Advocate Mche's predecessor, it was necessary that clarity be sought on the way forward in that regard. Since then, I was never informed if there were any developments on that issue until I retired from the SAPS. You confirm the contents of paragraph 19.
I can confirm that, yes.
And you, I can confirm that that talks to that impasse that you referred to say that at the time when you retired, from your knowledge, it had not been resolved.
Correct, yes.
And then in your role as a Deputy National Commissioner of the police, before we go to the conclusion, again, Commissioners, this we agreed with the Galata group that a letter of Divisional Commissioner De Beer, even though it's not before or the witness was never asked to clarify anything, that the witness would talk to it for the convenience of the commission as well. Now, the letter is dated 26 September 2003. It's page 296 of the Galata bundle. If I may confirm, General Williams, you have a letter
That's right.
that was written on the 26th of September 2003. Inquiries, there is Divisional Commissioner De Beers. Can I confirm that you have the letter in front of you?
I do. I have it in front of me.
Now, firstly, given the history that you gave to the commission that you were appointed Deputy National Commissioner for Crime Intelligence and Detective Services in early 2003, would I be correct that this letter would have been written during your tenure as the Deputy National Commissioner responsible for detective services?
Correct, yes.
Divisional Commissioner De Beers, can you tell the commissioner who Divisional Commissioner De Beers was at the time? The
Divisional
author of this letter.
Commissioner, yeah. Divisional Commissioner De Beers at the time was the head of Division of Detective Services. So he was responsible for all investigations in the SAPS. So normally he would report to me via myself to the National Commissioner, but this matter at the time was different from the normal, from the norm, in the sense that he had been appointed by the National Commissioner without my knowledge. And from the letter, there seemed to have been a meeting between himself and Advocate Ackerman, and this is a response to that meeting that they had.
Okay, maybe before we go there, at the time when you were the Deputy National Commissioner, as you informed the Commission that General De Beers or Commissioner De Beers was reporting to you as his supervisor, did you become aware of the contents of this letter?
No, I was not aware at all. I was not aware of, and I didn't have to be aware necessarily because the National Commissioner has deputies who are just assisting him in his duty, but he's got direct access to all other members, divisional commissioners, provincial commissioners, and he can assign whatever he wants to assign to any one of them without going by the deputies. So I think this is such a case where he spoke to Commissioner De Beers without going, not in my presence, and I don't think this is the only issue. There will be other issues as well that he would do from time to time. So I was not aware of that meeting at all, and I'm not aware of that letter until I saw it now. Yes.
Thank you, General. And you, as you stated in your affidavit, there were those two instances that you had to deal with TRC matters, as mentioned in your affidavit.
Yes.
And then in conclusion, if I may take you to paragraph 20 of your affidavit, I will read it out, you will confirm. Paragraph 20 reads as follows: apart from the two instances I mentioned above during my employment with the SAPS, and more specifically my tenure as the Acting National Commissioner, I have never exercised, that's now paragraph 20.1.
Yes.
I have never exercised oversight, gave direction, supervised, coordinated, or supported any investigations in relation to the investigation of the TRC cases. I was further never involved in any efforts which sought to influence, delay, limit, discourage, or stop the investigation of such matters. Do you confirm the contents of paragraph 20 and paragraph 20.1?
I do.
In paragraph 20.2, you stated as follows: furthermore, I never issued any instruction that sought to undermine the investigation of any TRC cases to any official or member of the SAPS in whatever manner. Do you confirm that?
I do. I confirm.
Paragraph 20.3, you stated that apart from the limited information shared in this affidavit, I have never been privy to any communication and/or any interactions between the SAPS, the National Prosecuting Authority, the Department of Justice and Constitutional Development, members of the executive, or any other persons or institutions concerning the investigation or prosecutions of TRC cases. I accordingly do not have in my possession any information, document, or any material that shows my involvement or otherwise in relation to the TRC cases. You confirm that?
I confirm that.
And then perhaps if you can read into the record, paragraph 21 of your affidavit.
Paragraph 21. Lastly, I wish to state that during my entire career in the SAPS, I've always been conscious of my obligations as outlined in Section 205 of the Constitution.
Commissioners, that brings an end to the witness's testimony.
Thank you, Ms. Rantu. Ms. Moroka?
Chair, may I be permitted to greet my high school buddy and further then state that I have no questions.
Thank you. Mr. Lukele?
Thank you, Commissioner. I have few questions, clarification questions. Firstly, good morning, General. I'm not sure if you can see me.
I can see you. Good morning.
Thank you. In your affidavit, you referred to a misunderstanding between Advocate Bigoli and Commissioner Selebi. I just want to understand how you understood that misunderstanding at the time. I'm not sure if you follow my questions.
Yes, no, I do. At the time of the misunderstanding, at the time that it happened between the National Commission and Bigoli, I was not aware of it. I was aware of it only in 2008 when I was being briefed by General Jacobs. But at the time that it actually happened, I was not aware. I don't know, there must have been clear guidelines of why, possibly the cabinet, was a cabinet decision, whatever, I don't know, what the president's decision, I don't know, that they put together these directors general to deal with TRC matters. The responsibility itself to investigate was with the NDPP. But then there's a committee. I see that there was a committee. I came to understand that there was a committee. My understanding, it would seem that there was a matter of these DGs being briefed by the NDPP on possible actions or cases that would lead to maybe that are controversial, that would lead to certain outcomes that the other DGs should be aware of or what. I don't know if that is the only reason why they were constituted. But that was my understanding, that they existed a committee. In that committee, it seems like there was a misunderstanding related to a matter at first of how to handle the Chikane case, whether to prosecute or not. And Selebi held the view that Chikane did not want a prosecution to ensue, and Bigoli had a different view. So it is possible that arising out of that one matter, they then want to sort clarity on what exactly, because finally the person who's responsible for taking the decision of whether to prosecute or not is the NDPP, and by law is supposed to do that unhindered and independently. So possibly they sought clarity on what are the roles of the other DGs would be in cases that are being considered by the NDPP, which is mainly TRC cases. That was my understanding of what happened there. So they sought, I think, political direction from the Minister of Justice. Bikoli undertook to seek direction, and but then it never happened for more than a year. By the time Silibe had been suspended and I was acting in his position, it had not taken place. I don't know if it took place at any other point. I left in 2009, and the committee never met of DGs. I was never invited to any meeting subsequent to that letter. I don't know if it ever happened. I don't know.
Okay, thank you. My second question is, you spoke of an impasse between the NPA and SAPS, and you said during your tenure or when you left the SAPS, that impasse had not been resolved. What I just want to...
What impasse, Mr. Lukele? What impasse are you adverting to?
Commissioner, in paragraph, I think it's paragraph 18 of the founding affidavit, if you just the witness states there that there appeared to have been impasse between the two institutions, the NPA and SAPS.
Yes.
Yes. So then I wanted to ask a question insofar as it relates to whether there was any working relationship between his tenure with Advocate Ackerman when it comes to dealing or investigating the TRC cases.
Yes.
I'm not sure if you followed the discussion I was having with the chair.
I don't know. I understand the question. My understanding is, or the situation is such that the ITT and the Committee of Directors General are not the only levels or the only fora where there is cooperation between the SAPS and the NDPP. There were investigations that were being carried out at the lower level than that, and that correspondence would happen, and those meetings would happen between the Divisional Commissioner Detective Services and the NDPP, which is the normal cooperation levels of actual investigations. So I think that continued. I'm aware that although I became aware afterwards, and I assumed at the time that it was going on all the time, that there would be work that they are cooperating on, because in my understanding, TRC cases, if there was an incident or a murder or missing person case prior to 1994, then of course a docket would exist somewhere in the police. So the NDPP, as a matter of routine, would ask for those dockets, would ask to be briefed, and by investigating officers, and the docket would then be taken over to the NDPP, and those members, if any members or are involved in the investigation, they would then continue with the investigation under direction of the NDPP's office. So that cooperation would continue, and I think it did continue. The matter was raising in paragraph 18 is only the matter that involved the DGs and the ITT, not the actual investigations. So impasse there was in terms of the ITT that operated as subcommittee of the of the Committee of Directors Generals.
Thank
And
you,
it's
General.
limited to that. Yes. It is limited to that.
Thank you. My last question is, during your involvement with the TRC cases, do you know who investigated the TRC cases?
Sorry, Commissioners, I think the witness has explained that there were only two encounters with the TRC. He made it clear that he was never involved in any investigation. And again, he made it clear that Divisional Commissioner De Beer investigated on the instruction of National Commissioner. He didn't know anything about it. So I'm not so sure if it's fair to ask the witness as to whether
Yes. Whether it
he
is-
knows who investigated what. I think rather it's an
Yes,
unfair question.
Mr. Lukele.
Commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner. Well,
Yeah.
if the witness is not in a position to assist or that the question is unfair, then I'll not proceed with it.
Yes.
Chair. And that's
Thank you.
that's all. Thanks.
Any questions offline, online?
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I do have one clarificatory question for General Williams.
And it's Miss who?
Ms. Mchizana.
Yes, Miss Mchizane.
Good morning, General Williams.
Good morning.
My question to you is referring to paragraph 19 of your statement. I just want to find out if, did you ever get any response before the matter was escalated to Advocate Mshe? Did you get any response from him regarding your letter on Annex J TCW2?
No. Advocate Mshe did not respond to the letter. Nor did we discuss. He never,
Okay.
he never reverted back at all.
Okay, thank you, General Williams. And how were you informed that the matter was escalated to his predecessor? How did you find out?
Again, sorry, Commissioners, the witness did indicate in paragraph 16, he gave a background of how he came to know about the ITT issues. So I think my colleague, if you could follow from paragraph 16, it is clear he's explaining how he became aware of the issues related to the ITT.
So you're saying there is nothing to clarify because it's clear?
I think so, Commissioners, it's very clear.
Yes, it's clear.
Beyond that, I don't see what is it that he will clarify anyhow beyond that, Commissioners.
Yes, Miss Mchizane.
Thank you, Chair. No questions, Mr. Williams. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Next person online. Mr. Vani.
Fine.
Thank you, Chair. Just a few questions by way of clarification. General Williams, good morning. It's it's good to see you again. I think I last saw you in the 1990s. I think
Yes.
I think we had a couple of interactions. We might have met once talking about hit squad investigations. I was working with the Minister of Safety and Security at the time.
Yes, good morning. Nice seeing you too.
Thanks for taking the time to be with us, even in your condition. I'm not going to keep you very long.
Okay.
If I can refer to paragraph 10 of your statement, would I be right in saying that your stint as acting National Commissioner was for a period of approximately 18 months? That would have been
Correct.
December 2007 through to September 2009.
January 2008 until September 2009.
Thank you.
Yes.
And then prior to that, you headed up, you were DNC for Crime Intelligence and Detective Services from the year 2000. Can I ask, General, between 2000 and your departure in September of 2009, in those two posts, did you get to hear about the struggle to get the TRC cases investigated?
Not at all. No, nobody really raised the matter with me at all. Even, you know, at the time when I became acting national commissioner, almost the same time, I think Advocate Mshe was appointed as acting NDPP, and I met with him, and even in that meeting that we had, it was, although it was just an introduction meeting, and we're saying we must manage issues between SAPS and the NDPP's office, and he didn't raise any matter with me, any issues with me at the time. So I assumed that the investigations were going on, how well they were being investigated, or how much was being investigated by the NDPP. I never inquired, I never knew anything about that, but I assumed that he was experiencing no problems with cooperation with the SAPS because he did not raise any such matters with me. Yeah. I don't know if that answers your question.
Yes, thanks for that clarification. Now, my learned friend, Advocate Ranto, has referred you to the De Beer letter, and I understand you do have a copy of it.
Yes.
Commissioners, as mentioned, that's in Collata Group Bundle 1 at page 296. That's the letter from Commissioner De Beer to Divisional Commissioner De Beer to Advocate Ackerman. It's dated 26 September of 2003. General, you've indicated that you were not aware of this interaction between Divisional Commissioner De Beer and Advocate Ackerman, and actually that the letter only came to your attention recently. Is that correct?
Correct, yes, it's correct.
And I think you also mentioned that in your position as DNC for Crime Intelligence and Detective Services, De Beer would have reported to you?
Normally, yes.
Yes. I just want to read some extracts from the letter and to ask for your comment. So I'll just start at the second paragraph. And De Beer writes, as agreed at our meeting, I have discussed your request for the assistance of the South African Police Service to investigate cases emanating from the TRC processes with the National Commissioner. If I can just pause there. So it appears that De Beer was talking directly to National Commissioner Celebi and not involving you as his immediate superior. Did that happen from time to time?
Yes. Yes, it would happen. The responsibility lying with another department. You have a lot of interdepartmental task teams that are set up from time to time. So that's like an add-on. Normally, we regard it as an add-on. It's not our primary responsibility. So if the initiative came via the National Commissioner to Commissioner De Beer, it would be normal that it would happen from time to time. And So he would report directly to the National Commissioner if the tasking came from the National Commissioner himself. He didn't have to report via me.
And thanks for that clarification. I'm not going to read the rest verbatim, but I think you get the gist of it, that
Yes.
Divisional Commissioner De Beer, presumably on instructions from National Commissioner Salebi, indicated that unless the President instructed SAPS in writing to take on these cases, that SAPS would not do so. Do you have any comment on that?
Yeah, it would seem to me that there was apprehension on behalf of especially the detective services, that those investigations mostly would be, the bulk of them would be against former security branch members who at the time had become members of the detective services. And the apprehension there is that De Beer would have preferred that an independent body investigate rather than the police investigate themselves. That's how I understand the apprehension that the police had. I think this motivated this letter. It's just that apprehension, I think. That's how I understand it.
I see. Thanks for that clarification. If we can turn to your paragraph 11, and this is where you explain how it was that during 2004, yourself and General Price went to collect documents. You mentioned that these documents related to the African National Congress, together with associated dockets, and that at the NDPP's office, Advocate Bulalani Nguka was present together with Advocate Bakoli and others. Did Commissioner Salebi explain to you why it was necessary to retrieve those particular dockets and bring them to SAPS?
No, there was no explanation at the time. He just mentioned that he looked at his watch. We were sitting, looked at his watch, and he said, "Oh, I had an agreement with Advocate Bulelani Nguka that I would collect some documents from the NDPP, from his office, from Bulelani Nguka's office, and could we please facilitate that these documents are collected?" So myself and General Price were sitting with the National Commissioner, and the NDPP's office was within walking distance. So we just walked across to Church Square. On our way to the NDPP's office, we found, I think it was Advocate Ackerman and Pikoli, who was then DG of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, and a few other members who were there of the NDPP's office, whom I didn't know. And I can't remember who they were subsequently also. They were there with this box. It was an open curtain. And they then indicated these were the documents that the Bulelani Nguka had decided should be given back to SAPS, and some of them had apprehension about why they had to be given back. And they talked about dockets and whatnot. And then Bulelani Nguka himself came to where we were standing in the Church Square. And when he came, I said to him, I've been sent, I repeated to him, I've been sent by the National Commissioner to collect documents from you Are these the documents? He said, yes. And then I said, I don't know. Is there any, I've not been mandated to have any discussion regarding whether it's appropriate or not to take possession of the documents. I was just requested to take possession of the documents. And he said, yeah, we've had the discussion with Zilibe. I've agreed that they should go back to the police. I've got no interest in keeping the documents. And then we, because we didn't know how much of documents it were, it was a big carton with lots of publications. I don't know what else was there. There might have been 1 or 2 documents, I don't know, or there could be more. But on the top were mostly
General-
these publications.
General,
Yes.
if I may interpose, the
Yes.
pointed question was whether the National Commissioner had explained to you the reason why you had to collect the documents from Mr. Bulelani Nguga.
Thank you.
Oh,
That's the question you must answer.
yeah, he did not say why. He just said there was an agreement between himself and Advocate Nguga that there were documents that had to be handed back to SAPS. I took it at a meeting, I don't know, the day before or so. And that's all.
Yes.
Thank you,
He didn't
Chairperson.
even say what they involved. Not at all.
Thank you, General. As
Yes.
a follow-up, at that time or subsequently, did you hear any discussion around a possible prosecution of the ANC 37?
Informally, yes. Informally, yes, I did.
Thank you. Was it around that time?
No, it was subsequent to that. I don't remember exactly when, but I did hear that, I don't know, there was an intention to investigate or put together a case, I think related to the landmine cases that were laid by MK people, and that the NDPP was looking at possibilities of charging people who might have been in the leadership of the ANC in exile at the time, including then President Mbeki and others. I don't know who else, but it was informally, not really in any formal setting.
Thank you. If we can turn to paragraph 16 of your statement. It's at the top of page 6. You mentioned then, I'll just read it just to refresh our memories. Due to my lack of prior involvement in the issues related to the TRC and or ITT at the time, I requested Major General Jacobs to prepare an information note explaining what the issues were about. And sorry, I should have mentioned that this was in response to the request by the then acting NDPP Advocate M. Sher to restart the meetings of the ITT that's set out in your paragraph 15. You then say then that I became aware of correspondence exchange between Commissioner Selebi and Advocate Pacoli during February 2007 in relation to the misunderstanding between the roles, the exact role of the ITT vis-a-vis the forum of DGs in relation to the TRC matters. In preparation for your evidence, did you get sight of the information note prepared by Major General Jacobs?
I did, yes, I did.
Thank you. I don't see the information note as part of your bundle, but can I just check if you have it with you, whether it's the information note in Jacob's bundle, page 1811?
Sorry. Apologies, Commissioners. Mr. Vani did not alert us that the witness will be taken through that information note.
Yes.
So the witness had not, he explained that he doesn't have any documents. He's reliant on the documents that are before the Commission. So that the witness did not have an opportunity to have a sight of it. Perhaps it might well be that he is given some time to have a look at the document before the questions being asked from him.
Yes, is the document here?
It's part of, if I'm correct, Mr. Van, it should be part of documents annexed to the supplementary affidavit of General Jacobs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Vani, your clarificatory question in this regard?
Yes, thanks, Chairperson. Yes, it's mentioned in his paragraph 16, and we just wanted to make sure that we were all on the same page in relation to the information note. General Williams indicated that he did take a look at it, and perhaps my learned friend for General Williams can indicate whether it is part of the Jacobs bundle at page 1811.
Yes. Ms. Ranto?
Commissioners, our difficulty is that he may have seen it then, but in preparation of this, hence it's not annexed here. The witness did not engage with that document, and that's why we are saying it would rather be unfair to ask specific questions in relation to that document. Unless,
Yes.
of course, the witness is afforded opportunity
Yes.
to look at it. Yes.
Mr. Vani, do you intend to deal specifically with that note for purposes of clarification?
Yes, just for purposes of clarification, we just wish to know which note it is, because the one that we found deals with the appeal that the government wished to launch in relation to the guidelines. It doesn't seem to be related to this note, so we just want clarity as to which note it is and where it can be found.
Commissioners, we can confirm it is the same note. It's explained in General Jacobs' affidavit that he was assigned, but he has an unsigned copy that he annexed to his supplementary affidavit. So it's got to be the one.
Yes.
We assume, but for the purpose of what the witness was asked here in terms of his evidence, he said he was given some background. Obviously, that would have included it. But to ask any specific questions arising from that, we find it problematic.
Yes. Yes, Mr. Vani?
Yeah, Chairperson, we don't see the connection between that note and the decisions around the ITT, so I won't pursue it, and perhaps we'll just have to...
Yes, I think it's better not to pursue it.
Yes, if we do find the note that I think General Williams is referring to, we'll bring it to the attention of the Commission. General Williams, if we can then move to paragraph 17, and here you make reference to the letter addressed by Advocate Pacoli to Commissioner Salebi on the 6th of February 2007 in relation to that misunderstanding, in which he indicated that he will seek clarity from the Minister of Justice. And that letter you've annexed as TCW2. And in that letter, Advocate Pacoli refers to the letter of Commissioner Salebi on the same day, 6 February 2007. And I understand that you do have a copy of that letter.
Yes.
Commissioners, that letter has been placed before you as well. It's in Kalata Group Bundle 2 at page 172. General Williams, just for the sake of completeness, I'm going to read extracts from that letter to you for your comment. So it reads, and this is Commissioner Celebi writing, it's titled Outstanding TRC Cases. I've been briefed on the last meeting of the task team set up in terms of the Cabinet guidelines on outstanding TRC matters. It was brought to my attention that in State v. Otto, that's the Chakani matter, a decision on prosecution was taken without consultation with the respective departments. I have insisted that the complainant be consulted in terms of the guidelines on the basis that the Director General will have an opportunity to provide input before a decision on prosecution is taken. I'm also under the impression that there's no common understanding on the process to be followed. My understanding was that the officials designated on the task team by the Director General will provide recommendations to the Director General, who will, as a collective, advise the NPA as the decision maker on prosecutions. And on the next page, in my view, a comprehensive report such as the one directed to the NPA, dated 24 November 2006 and revised on the 29th, should be discussed by the Directors General. Although I do not insist on a meeting of the Directors General after each meeting of our officials, I deem it necessary that the substantive reports and recommendations of the officials should be discussed by the Directors General before a decision is made. I'm of the opinion that the Director General should meet as soon as possible to provide guidance on the procedures to be followed by the officials in the task team. I'm also of the opinion that the Chakani matter should be discussed both in terms of the procedures followed and the way forward. I have requested the NPA to convene a meeting as soon as possible and trust that you will be in agreement with that request. And then you're aware, of course, of the response of Advocate Bakoli. He then takes that matter up with the Minister of Justice.
Yeah.
Now, given that your response to Advocate Mshe essentially said that until that matter had been resolved, SAPS would not participate further in the ITT. Would I be correct in saying that you aligned yourself with Commissioner Celebi's letter?
Yes. When I was briefed, it made sense to me. And I agreed with his position because basically they sought guidance on their role and function, and Pikoli had undertaken as the chair of that committee to seek clarity with his minister, and he had not come back, and therefore they had not met for a long time, I think more than a year. And I had not been approached by NDPP in the time that I was there either. So the ITT needed guidance, and there was none forthcoming. So I agreed at the time when I was being briefed that there was a need for clarity. And I could understand that correspondence between the two. And since Pikoli had not come back, it means there was an impasse there.
Thank you. Can I ask, why did the ITT need the guidance of the Directors General?
Yes, the ITT are nominees of the Directors General. And they are appointed directly by the Directors General. So they needed guidance all the time. And those are the people to whom they reported back, to their respective DGs. So they were like a subcommittee to the committee of the DGs, in my understanding.
Thank you. do you have any comment on the view of Advocate Corley, who felt that the requirement that Commissioner Salebi was suggesting, that the Directors General make inputs into each case before he makes the decision, that constituted improper interference in his work?
Stefani,
Yes,
I think
Chairperson.
that's not a clarificatory question. You are asking for his opinion.
Yes, Chairperson, if the Commissioner
Yes.
is of the view that it goes
Yes.
beyond the bounds, then
That's
I-
not a clarificatory question.
Let's turn to paragraph 19. You mentioned in response to a clarification question from one of my colleagues that following your correspondence to Advocate Imsher that you mentioned in paragraph 18, that you did not get any response from Advocate Imsher, and that you were then not informed of any developments on that particular issue, the impasse as you call it, until you retired.
Yes, that's correct, yes.
Yeah.
That is correct, yes.
So would you also be unaware of what happened to the TRC cases in the absence of the ITT operating?
My assumption is that the investigations went on. The main responsibility was with the NDPP, the TSO, and so on, and that there was cooperation between the police, and that's my assumption. And that will be the normal way in which cooperation happens daily between prosecutions and the police, and that it doesn't need an ITT or involvement of a DG on a case-to-case basis. So I assume that that would have gone on. That would not hinder the normal work that the investigations that were continuing at all. The other matter is more of a political matter than actual investigation matter.
When you say political matters, what do you mean?
Can you come again?
You mentioned, if I heard you correctly, that the ITT was more for political matters.
No, I'm saying the impasse was brought about because of the role not being clear of these directors general meeting and looking at the cases, how to handle the individual case, the cases, and I don't know if it's all cases or controversial cases or what. I'm not sure about that, but that has got nothing to do with the normal investigations day to day. Nothing to do with that. It's more the political. If these directors generals are appointed in the instance of a cabinet decision or a president's decision or whatever, then and there was a difference of their understanding of why they were constituted. They would seek that, but that has got nothing to do with the cases, actual cases that are investigated. So it's more of a political guidance thing than the investigations. And that would be relevant to investigating the cases on an ongoing basis. That's my understanding.
Thanks for setting that out, General. And then
Yes.
Lastly, from my side, do you have any comment on the fact that it appears that the investigations only really started in 2010? Indeed, according to the NPA, only after the World Cup did investigations on the TRC cases commence.
Mr. Vani, again, you are treading on dangerous ground. That's definitely not a clarificatory question.
Thank you, Chair. Then I don't persist.
To know, Chair, where he gets that statement from.
Chair, there are multiple sources for that statement. We'd be happy to share it, but since the question is not permitted,
Yes.
I'll pass that information
Yes.
on to my learned friend.
Thank you.
Yeah. No further questions.
Thank you. Wait, Auntie Soni. Mr. Soni?
Chairperson, we had intended asking some of the questions that have been asked already, so we won't waste any time
Yes.
re-asking those issues.
Thank you.
General, good morning.
Good morning, Commissioner.
General, when you collected, you and General Praise collected the documents, you were not asked to sign for them.
Oh, no. As I stated before, we just met them we were headed for Advocate Nuga's office, the NDPP at the time. But the actual documents and the people having the documents, Ackerman and others, were outside their offices on Church Square. And they had this open curtain in which was all kinds of things. It was not like your normal dockets or anything that you have to sign for. If it was as formal as that, we would have arranged for the head of detectives, Divisional Commissioner De Beer, to arrange for a proper handover from NDPP to investigators. But because it was not clear what the documents were, we just told their documents that Advocate Bulelani Nuga had agreed with Silibe should be handed back to the police. No, there was no signing. Nobody, when we were there, they didn't have anything to be signed or anything. So there was nothing. No, Commissioner, there was nothing that we signed. We didn't sign for anything.
Yeah,
I don't know subsequently if Commissioner De Beer had to sign for anything. I don't know. I wouldn't know.
Yeah, at least it boggles my mind that between senior government functionaries, that a document was not prepared and you check whatever the documents may be,
Yes.
and then so that there can be a record of what you have signed for and what you have delivered. Wouldn't you agree with my statement?
I would fully agree, because that whole exchange was something that had never happened before, and it's something that I could not understand. And I must say that at the time I couldn't understand what it was about, because on one hand I thought there were dockets, then it was just documents and loose newspapers and magazines. I couldn't understand what that was all about at the time. Both myself and Commissioner Price, who were there, we couldn't understand what it was all about. Formal discussion or informal discussion that happened between Silibe and Pikoli, and those were the documents, and we were given these documents, and then we were told they involved investigations, because Pikoli, when he came, he said, dockets belong to the police, and amongst other things. No, dockets normally belong to the police, and they will approach us when they have to approach us at a point, and these documents must go to the police. I've agreed with Silibe. It was just as brief as that, in the open there in the square, and that was it. And then, because he had referred to dockets, we phoned General De Beer to arrange for the documents to be received and to be transported back to the police, and that was it.
Yeah.
But I agree that it was very unusual.
Yes, no, thank you. I don't, for my part, I don't blame you. And Advocate Moroka was greeting you, and you did not respond to her.
I was very glad to see her. She is my colleague from school many, many years ago, and I haven't seen her in a long, long time.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Thank you, Chair.
yes,
Thank you, Chair.
General
Thank you.
Williams, General Williams, good morning. Can you hear me?
yeah, I can. I don't know what we can say.
Just on that last issue, I want to take you back to paragraph 12 of your affidavit. Just to get confirmation from you. You've written there, whilst we were still engaging with Advocate Piccoli, Advocate Nguka also came and informed us that he had agreed with the National Commissioner about the dockets that had to be taken back to the SAPS, since there were no decisions taken to prosecute on the said dockets. Did you have any understanding of what that meant?
Yeah, no, I did not. I must just say, we were standing right there, and you know, the two words we use interchangeably, they will talk about documents and dockets. But that's actually, I think, correctly that's correct. If that's a correct quotation of what Advocate Nuga said.
Okay, thank you. And then, just so that I understand your evidence correctly, you've said with respect to the TRC cases,
Yes.
if these were being investigated by SAPS members, the NPA would ask for the dockets, and then the investigations with the TRC cases would continue by the SAPS members under the direction of the NPA. Did I
Yes, that's
understand you?
correct.
Right.
That's my understanding, yes.
And you also said that you always assumed that investigations were going on and that there was cooperation between SAPS and the NPA, and that the ITT issue should not have influenced those investigations. Am I correct?
That's correct, yes. That's my understanding.
Okay, now would I be correct in assuming that such investigations by members of SAPS were consistent with their constitutional duties to investigate crimes?
Yes, that's correct, except that the responsibility for TR cases had now been vested with the NDPP, so we would not be initiators. I think my understanding is that for most of the incidents that would have been under investigation, there would have existed a docket at one police station or another, depending on where the incident took place. How successful or unsuccessful the investigation was, but the docket should exist. That's my understanding.
Right, and your understanding, isn't it the responsibility of SAPS to investigate crimes in the country in terms of the Constitution?
Crime generally, yes, it is.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Ms. Ranto, any re-examination?
Thank you, Commissioners. Just one or two, I think. General, you were asked
Yes.
about the letter that Divisional Commissioner De Beer wrote, remember?
Yes.
That's the letter of the 26th of September 2003. Now,
Yes.
was it abnormal for Divisional Commissioner De Beer to carry out an instruction without your knowledge? That's now, I mean, the instruction from the National Commissioner without your knowledge.
Yes, it is normal. It is not, there's nothing untoward with it. Because if you just, the understanding is that we are deputies, but we are lieutenant generals, and he's a lieutenant general himself. So our provincial commissioners, they are lieutenant generals. The national commissioner can task anybody in his own discretion with any with any task. So it was normal. I think there must have been a discussion between the national commissioner and DPR preceding that letter, and it would be normal. It's normal for that to happen. It happened all the time. The issues that normally would be reported to me are issues that we are line functionally responsible for, you know, emanating from our own annual plans and so on. That basically would be. But anything that's a request from another department that didn't have to go past me, or anything that is assigned directly by the National Commissioner, that would be normal.
Thank you. And then Commissioner Khomo asked you about the documents that you collected from the NDPP, a box that you referred to. Remember that?
Yes. Yes.
You were asked about no handover that took place. In other words, nobody signed for the document. You remember when clarification was being sought? Now,
Yes. While I was there, while I was there.
Yes,
Wait,
sorry.
wait
While
for
I
the
was there.
question.
Commissioner?
Wait for the
Yes.
question.
Okay, the question, you informed the commission that you didn't know what the contents of the box were about, isn't it?
Correct.
Now, if that box was to be, or whatever that you had to receive from NDPP, in the normal course, whose responsibility would be to ensure that there is document that would ensure proper handover to whoever has to receive the documents?
My understanding is that if it was dockets, then we would have arranged for the divisional commissioner, detective services to receive those dockets, if it was dockets. But we didn't know what we were receiving.
Yeah, let's say whether it was dockets, but they were going to be handed over to the SAPS by the NPA. So
Yes.
who would be responsible? Whose responsibility would be to ensure that there is a document that would ensure that there's handover of whatever document between SAPS and
Well,
NPA?
it would be the NPA's responsibility as the department handing over to another department. If the documents were coming from us, it would have been our responsibility. But since it was coming from the NPA, it was their responsibility to ensure that there was a register for that.
And then just in relation to the question that was asked by Commissioner Gabriel about their responsibility to investigate that is entrusted upon SAPS. Remember the question from the Commissioner? That
Yes,
the
I
primary
do.
responsibility to investigate lies with the SAPS. You remember
Yes.
that question? Yes.
For
Now-
investigation of crime.
Yes. Did I understand you in your evidence to say that in the case of TRC cases, that was the responsibility of the NPA and DSO earlier on in your evidence?
Yes. Correct.
Commissioners, that is all from my side.
Thank you, Ms. Ranto.
Chairperson, sorry to interrupt. Just in the last few seconds, my team has brought to my attention a response from Advocate Mshere to General Williams. It's a letter dated the 13th of March 2008. We understand that these documents were provided by the NPA to the evidence leaders in April of this year. I don't intend to put a question to General Williams, but with the leave of the chairperson, may I read this letter into the record?
Yes, you may.
Thank you, chairperson. The letter is from the Office of the NDPP, dated 13 March 2008, It's addressed to the Acting National Commissioner, SAPS. The reference is 3/5/2 brackets 308. It reads, Dear Commissioner Williams, Interdepartmental Task Team dealing with post-TRC matters. I acknowledge receipt of your letter dated 7 March 2008 relating to the above matter and have to inform you that the ministerial guidance requested by Advocate Bacoli is still outstanding. I had decided to convene the meeting of the task team specifically so that the issue could be discussed frankly with the affected state departments and agreement be reached as to how the matter could be taken forward. It is important that a solution be reached so that the rights of victims of human rights abuses are not prejudiced. The representatives of the other state departments have agreed to attend the meeting, and I would be grateful if you could reconsider your decision not to send a representative to the meeting. I regard the inputs from SAPS as highly valuable, and then he adds in a handwritten insertion, and critical. Yours sincerely, Advocate M.J. Mshe, SC, Acting NDPP. That's the
Yes.
letter.
I think your next question that you are planning to ask, with the permission of the chair, is whether the witness is aware of having received that letter.
Yes, indeed, Chairperson, although I don't wish to push my luck too
Yes.
far.
General?
Chair, I'm completely not aware of the letter. I never received such a letter. I never received that response. No, I spoke to General Jacobs, who was a member of the ITT. He never, and I checked with him before. It was when I was preparing my own statement. His position was that he had never received such a letter either. No response.
Thank you.
Yes.
Chair, can I just point out one aspect, that the copy we have is an unsigned version.
Yes. So you've got the response. That letter was never received by the general.
Thank you, Chairperson. I'm
Thank
grateful
you.
for the indulgence.
General Williams, we thank you for having come before this commission to give evidence. That is greatly appreciated. You are now excused as a witness.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Mr. Soni?
Your second microphone, Mr. Soni.
General Williams is the only witness for today. We
Yes.
had somebody else, but that had to be changed.
Yes. These proceedings are then adjourned until tomorrow at 10 o'clock.
As you please.